Number one for country from the 90s and now, B97.9. Tonight, night 2 of the Sikeston J.C. Boot Hill Rodeo. Headliner tonight, Matt Stell. Matt's joining me on the phone, man. Matt, how in the world are you doing, brother?
Man, it'd be hard to be doing any better right now, man. We're excited about tonight.
That's great. That's great, man. Well, let's jump into it and discuss a little bit about, Matt Stell, the artist. Man, your career has just taken off. And I'm so impressed by it because, no offense, I mean, here you are, you were a kid from Arkansas, and I know you went to Drury College in Springfield, Missouri. You're familiar with the state from one side to the other, and played basketball. You had a scholarship to Harvard. You were going to be a doctor. What in the world made you change to music?
Well, I started playing music when I was in school there at Drury, and just because I was playing basketball, and you don't get any time off. You have to stay on campus the whole winter break, so I needed something to fill my time. And I found out pretty quick I had a passion for music, so I started playing music and guitar, and as soon as I could mash 4 chords together, I started writing songs, and that's taken me a lot of places, but I've spent a lot of that time in Southeast Missouri, especially early on, and I'm excited to get back. And just to kind of answer your question, it's it's crazy the paths that life kind of presents, but I kind of knew that I knew if I had the opportunity to write songs and tour around and sing them for folks, that's what I wanted to do. And when I got that opportunity that I was looking for, that was plan A for me. I dove into that head first, and man, we got lucky releasing some music, and kind of things changed quite a bit in 19 for us, for sure, with Prayed For You being the first single. And man, it's a crazy winding journey.
That it is. And the thing about Prayed For You, I mean, I gotta say, I was looking at your Instagram earlier, and this is what it says at the beginning of it: rock and roll show made out of country music. Yeah,
that's exactly right, man. We I like to joke with the guys that had we all been from bigger towns, we'd be in a garage band, but because where I'm from, I started a barn band.
Right.
So it's like we got that indie influence, and man, we like to rock hard, and we like to put on a high energy show, man. We really can't help ourselves. We rock out pretty hard, and we don't really apologize for it because that's just kind of how it naturally comes out. But being where I'm from, it's always going to sound a little country. So that's to us, that's the perfect mix.
I remember the first time I met you, it was at Black River Coliseum. You opened up for Easton Corbin.
Yeah.
And I was standing back at the back talking to your fiddle player at the time, and you came up and we started talking, and I mean, even then you were in Nashville and you were kind of starting things. I mean, you hadn't really taken off, and that's been a few years ago. That was even before 19, before Prayed For You came out. But yep. Man, your show then was just energy with a capital energy. I mean, you were just side to side, front to back. I mean, y'all kicked butt and took names on that show.
Well, man, I'm glad to hear you say that, because that's the most fun for us. Whenever the energy's high on the stage and in the crowd, and then we all kind of have a good time together, man. That's the goal for sure.
And I know that you have the illustrious distinction of being the only act to ever come and play at the Crawfish Boil here in Sikeston, and then later on headline at the rodeo.
I tell you what, that's a big deal to me, because like I mentioned before, I played a lot of music in Southeast Missouri, mm-hmm. especially when I was first starting out, and I made a lot of friends over that way, and that I'm looking forward to getting to see, and so it's gonna be great to come back and play music at the rodeo, and it's such a big deal. And same thing with the Crawfish Bowl, man. We had a blast there, and we'll be excited to get back after it here tonight.
It's going to be fantastic, I can tell you that, and I'm looking forward to it. I know the folks are looking forward to it because, I mean, you've pretty much become a hometown boy.
I really appreciate that because, like I said, it's a special place in my heart for that part of the country because of how much that we toured there. And it's crazy how you don't get to, you crisscross the country everywhere, and then some places, you look up and you hadn't been there in a couple of years. And it's been a minute since we've been to Southeast Missouri, and man, I'm telling you, we can't wait. And I've been telling the guys how much fun it's going to be to get up there and play that show, and especially at the rodeos. We're really this is one we have circled on our calendars for sure.
I know you've played a lot of shows, especially, here in the past, few months that you've been out on the road and touring with Miranda.
Yeah, man. We just got off a run with Miranda Lambert, one of my heroes, and one of my favorites. It's so cool to see how, just to be a fan on the side of the stage and kind of learn from her. She was so cool to us. And my mom got to come to a show, and she was so cool to my mom. And just, it's always great when you meet your heroes and they turn out to be awesome people. And that was definitely the case there. We're excited about that. We kind of take it full circle because tomorrow night we go down the road to Iowa and get to play with Blake. So
wow,
yeah. So I'm excited. That'd be my first time getting to do that. We're really in a good spot right now. I mean, we're playing a lot of great shows, and the band is we're just like family going up and down the road. So it's really a lot of fun right now.
Well, I got to ask you this, because you're playing, like you said, a lot of big shows now, and then you talked about playing all over Southeast Missouri, and of course you played all over Arkansas, when you were busting your tail to get to where you're at now. Which would you say is the one that you enjoy the most? Do you enjoy the huge crowds? I know you feed off the energy of the crowd, but do you enjoy the huge crowds more, or do you like it to be a little more intimate?
Well, that's a great question. It's, obviously, the bigger crowd, the better to a point, because, we're at the point where if it's like, if there are 10,000 people there, we're opening up for somebody. You know what I mean? And
right.
That can be great because you're trying to win over new fans. But, when you get to come and, play a deal like tonight, like at Sikeston, where, we've played a bunch and we get to have a big rowdy crowd in there and get to take the stage. I mean, that's also really special. So it just kind of depends, man. Sometimes I'd rather play a smaller club that's packed out than a big room that's not all the way full, because just the energy's high. It's always about that energy for us,
right.
And that's what makes it fun. So, it depends. They all have their perks, definitely. I'm just glad that now when I play it, usually there's no TVs on with the sound on, so that I don't get distracted.
People aren't watching the weather or checking out the sports or anything like that, right?
Yeah, and I was as guilty as anybody. I remember when I was, first starting out playing in these corner stages and bars and loving every minute, but there'd be, the game would be on, and I catch myself watching it sometimes if it was a game I really cared about. But glad that's a different deal now for sure.
It's awesome for you, man. I'm so proud of where you're at right now. It's just so cool, and I guarantee you tonight you're gonna be overloaded with energy, because the crowds at the Sikeston Rodeo are just a rowdy bunch of people. That's all you can say.
Yeah, and they're gonna get a rowdy band on stage. We can't wait.
I can't wait, man. We'll have to get together before the show and maybe do a couple of shots and get you all ready. How's that sound?
That sounds exactly like what we're going to do.
All right. Well, Matt, we will see you tonight, man, and get your mind set, and then we'll get together and we'll do a couple of shots and we'll enjoy the night with you. How's that sound?
Awesome, George. We'll see you soon, man.
All right, brother. Matt Stell. It's the number one for country from the 90s and now, B97.9.